The helicopter blades were already warming up when the boss laughed into the microphone and said the words that would change every life on that rooftop forever. "Fly this helicopter perfectly," he announced to the crowd below, his voice echoing between glass towers, "and I'll marry you." People laughed, phones went up, comments exploded online. It sounded like a rich man's joke, another viral stunt. But then the laughter died. Because standing quietly near the edge of the helipad, still holding a mop, was the black cleaning lady, and when the boss turned and saw her eyes, he froze. Before we go any further, if you believe real strength often hides in the most unexpected places, tap like, subscribe to the channel, and stay with this story until the end. You'll understand why. Her name was Naomi Carter, though no one in the building ever called her that. To them she was just the cleaner, the woman who arrived before sunrise and left long after sunset, invisible as the dust she wiped away. She cleaned the offices of Skyreach Industries, a billion-dollar aviation company owned by Ethan Blackwell, the same man now standing in a tailored suit, shocked into silence by the sight of her. Naomi had been cleaning that rooftop when the executives rushed in, cameras followed, and the challenge was announced as part of a flashy company anniversary event. Anyone from the staff could try, Ethan joked, knowing full well no one would dare. No one, except Naomi. She had stopped mopping when she heard the helicopter. The sound wasn't noise to her, it was memory. It crawled into her chest, stirred something she had buried deep. Her hands tightened on the handle of the mop, not from fear, but from familiarity. When Ethan's eyes met hers, something in his confident posture cracked. He knew that look. He had seen it once before, years ago, in a different life he tried hard to forget. Naomi slowly stepped forward. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. A few people laughed, some whispered, others shook their heads. "Is this a joke?" someone muttered. Ethan cleared his throat. "Ma'am, this isn't, I can fly it," Naomi said softly. Her voice wasn't loud, but it cut through everything. Silence fell, heavy and uncomfortable. Ethan stared at her. For a moment he saw past the worn uniform, the tired shoes, the hands rough from chemicals and cold water. He saw a woman who looked heartbreakingly familiar. Years ago, before Skyreach, before the money, he had trained with an exceptional pilot during a humanitarian mission overseas. She was fearless, brilliant, and black. She had saved his life during a storm when his own hands had frozen on the controls. Her name was Naomi. But that Naomi had vanished after an accident that Ethan blamed himself for. He swallowed hard. "What did you say your name was?" he asked. "Naomi," she replied. "Just Naomi." The crowd leaned in. Cameras zoomed. This was no longer a joke. "You know this is dangerous," Ethan said, his voice quieter now. Naomi nodded. "I know. I've known danger." She glanced at the helicopter, her eyes tracing its shape like greeting an old friend. "I also know this model. Twin engine, modified tail rotor. You upgraded the avionics last year. Nice choice." A few engineers exchanged startled looks. Ethan felt his heart pound. No cleaner talked like that. Against his better judgment, or maybe because of it, Ethan stepped aside. "If you can start it," he said, "we'll talk." Naomi set the mop down carefully, as if it mattered, and walked toward the helicopter. Every step felt like crossing a line she had promised herself never to cross again. As her hand touched the door, memories flooded back, training flights, laughter, the accident, the fire, the pain, waking up in a hospital with doctors telling her she'd never fly professionally again, not because she couldn't, but because no one would let her. She had been quietly erased. She climbed into the cockpit. The crowd held its breath. Naomi adjusted the seat, checked the instruments, and began the startup sequence. Her movements were calm, precise, like muscle memory waking up after a long sleep. The engines roared to life. Gasps echoed across the rooftop. Ethan's knees felt weak. This was real. As the helicopter lifted off smoothly, the city fell away beneath them. Naomi's voice came through the headset, steady and clear. "You always said flying is about trust," she said. Ethan closed his eyes for a second. "Naomi," he whispered. "You left," he said when he found his voice. "After the crash, you disappeared." "I didn't disappear," she replied. "I was pushed. Doctors cleared me. But sponsors vanished. Doors closed. Suddenly I was a risk. So I took the only job I could get and survived."